All right. So as we know, it is Inauguration Day. That is fitting because today we are going to spend some time talking about our governmental leaders and how they get their jobs and come into power. Okay. You know about the president because we've talked about Inauguration Day. Today, we are also going to talk about mayors and governors. Mayors and governors are in charge of cities and states, okay? So we're going to look at our goal for today, and then you are going to get some time to explore the differences and similarities between presidents, governors, and mayors, okay? All right, so our goal for today is to be able to identify and explain the duties and selection process for local and state government officials who make, implement, and enforce laws, okay? You also need to be able to explain that the U.S. has 3 levels of government: local, state, and national, and that each level has special duties and responsibilities, okay? To help you understand this, we're going to watch a video that relates the levels of government to your school. Okay, so this is how these levels of government would look if they were all happening in your school. Okay, here we go.
Hello, I'm Aiden.
And I'm Brianna.
We believe that civics is important to learn, especially as kids.
That's right, the government is complicated and our leaders change all the time.
As kids, we hope this video can help you remember the leaders in the 3 levels of government. Let's pretend that our country, the United States of America, is just your elementary school.
The leader of your school is the principal.
The leader of our country is the president. This is the federal level.
This is an easy one to remember, but what about the states?
All of our country's 50 states have a leader too. That person is the governor.
Each state, like each classroom in a school, is unique and different.
And your teacher is the leader, like the governor of a state. Do you know the 3rd level of government?
We, the people, local students, parents, friends, everyone.
We can imagine that your group tables in most classrooms is like the city council in your town.
The city council works to take good care of our community, just like students take care of other classmates and school supplies. If you have more questions about the government and how it works,
just ask your parent or guardian or any of your teachers at school.
All right, so again, relating it to something you can connect with, our federal level, national, would be like Mr. Kemper, our principal. And then you would have smaller level of state, which would be like teachers. And then inside of that, you have even smaller levels like you, student leaders in your classroom. William, question?
I got kicked out.
Oh, well, welcome back. I'm glad you're here.
I got kicked out of my breakout room.
Sorry. All right. So we are going to now discuss what are the 3 levels of government in the United States. Okay. I'm going to send you into some breakout rooms and I want you to discuss what are the 3 levels of government inside of the United States. Alrighty, your question was, what are the 3 levels of government in the United States? What are those levels of government? 11 states, what's the big one? Who's in charge of the whole United States?
The president.
The president, and that is called the federal level. Okay, federal. Then what? It gets smaller, 11, and goes to the what's?
The judge.
Federal is the whole country. Now we're in just the smaller ones. Example is Indiana. We live in Indiana. That is our state, yes. And then we get teeny tiny with just cities and counties, and that is called It starts with an L and rhymes with focal.
What?
It starts with an L and rhymes with focal.
Local?
Local, that's right. All right, everybody with me. Big ol' huge arms, ready? Make the whole federal, the country, got the federal. All right, now get smaller, kind of hug your head. On Zoom, it looks like you're hugging your head. That's our state. Now get teeny tiny with just your face. That's your local, okay? 3 levels of government, all right? You today are going to track information about the leaders of each level, okay? Local, state, federal, all of them, okay? And you're going to think about the similarities and, ooh, look, differences, I spelled that wrong, between the leaders as you work, all right? On Seesaw, you have an assignment. That assignment is called City, State, and Federal Leaders. Look at that. The answers are right there. Wow. All right, City, State, and Federal Leaders, okay? Go ahead and click on the Add Response. We're going to work on the questions, and we're going to work on the mayors together. In your breakout rooms today, you're going to work on governors, and independently, you are going to work on the federal level, okay? So again, you're clicking Add Response. We've reviewed our goals for today to understand the duties, which means the job, and the selection process, which means how do they get in power for our local and state. We've thrown in the federal because it's happening in our country this year. You're also going to explain that there are 3 levels. Local, that's your face. State, that's your head. Federal, that's your whole body. Okay, the whole thing. All right, so take a look at slide 2. This is where your work is going to happen today. Okay, when you are done today, you will have an answer in all 9 boxes.
Miss Sousa, you're not sharing your screen.
I am not sharing my screen. Thank you. There we go. William's shaking his head at me in disapproval. All right. All 9 boxes. As you know, we're going to do the mayor together. So we're going to look at these 3 together today. You're going to do the governor in your breakout rooms, and the president is going to be on your own during work time. Okay? The questions that you are going to answer for each leader are, what community is each leader in charge of? What are 2 things this person must do to be eligible to have this job? That means able. And how do city, state, and federal leaders get their job? Okay, how do they become the mayor, the governor, or the president? All right. So it says, read the text on slides 3 through 5 and record the answers to the questions here. Let's go ahead and go to slide 3, please. The way this is set up is you will see each slide has information about the city leaders, the state leaders, and the federal leaders. Okay, so each slide has all 3 levels. We're answering this question. Highlight evidence in each passage to answer this question. What community is each leader in charge of? Okay, so grab your highlighter. What community is each leader in charge of? All right, you're going to highlight that with me as you read. So what are they in charge of? Okay, here we go. City leaders. Can you imagine being in charge of a city? Oh, that was so easy. So the community that they are in charge of is your city, your face, the small one, okay? Of a city the size of Los Angeles, California, or Dallas, Texas. If you could if you were the mayor. In communities big and small, mayors serve as leaders. Mayors have one of the most important jobs in city governments. So again, they're in charge of cities. A mayor leads the city in which he or she lives and works. The mayor meets with police officers and other important people in the community. The mayor talks to citizens about ideas for their cities. Together, they work to make their cities better. All right, so the question was, what community is each leader in charge of? The mayor is in charge of the city. Go ahead and go back to slide 2. What community is each leader in charge of? We can add now that the mayor is in charge of the city. And this is a chart, so you just need to list information. You do not need to type in complete sentences, okay? So on charts, you can just list information so that you see it quickly. So go ahead and on slide 2, for what community is each leader in charge of? Under mayor, put the city. All right, so we've answered page 3. Now it says we're going to go to page 4. Do you see right here where it tells you where the answers are? The answers are on page 4 for this next question. What are 2 things this person must be or do to be eligible to have this job? So how do they know they can have the job of the mayor? Okay, so let's go to page 4 because it tells me to go to page 4. Boom, page 4. Here is our mayor here. Again, it says highlight evidence in each passage to answer this question. What are 2 things this person must do or be to be eligible to have this job? Grab your highlighter. We're going to read together who can be mayor. Not everyone can be a mayor. A candidate must follow rules to become mayor. The candidate must live in the city he or she wants to serve. Okay? So if I wanted to be mayor, could not be the mayor of Fort Wayne. I don't live in Fort Wayne. I live in Indianapolis. Okay? So you have to live where you want to be in charge of. So that's one thing they must do. Let's keep reading. The candidate must also be able to vote in that city. So they've got to be able to vote. That means they have to be a citizen. It also says in some communities, mayors must be at least 18 years old. So you guys can't be the mayor. I can, because I am at least 18 years old. In other cities, mayors must be at least 21 years old. So there's some differences there. Remember how local governments can have different rules? Sometimes they'll let an 18-year-old be mayor. Sometimes you have to be 21. Just depends on where you live. So there are 3 things that we highlighted. Our question asks for 2. Okay? So we know that in order to be the mayor, you've got to live in that city. You've got to be able to vote, and you've got to be at least 18 years old, because 21 years old is older. So if you're at least 18 years old, okay? So let's go back because it says right here, then type the answer on slide 2. So we're going to go back to slide 2. What are 2 things this person must do or be to be eligible to have this job? Well, we just heard them. 1, live in the city. And 2, be at least 18. If you want to write the one about voting, that's fine. As long as you have 2. The directions asked for 2. As you're finishing that up, I'm going to take some questions. Oscar, a question. Oscar, try one more time. You're a choppy robot. I couldn't hear that at all. Oscar, I'm so sorry, kiddo. I can't hear you. See if you can move somewhere with better internet. Terrence, did you have a question?
How old are you?
I am 29. I will be 30 in 9 days.
I thought I was gonna take a guess and say you were 37.
Oh, good Lord, Terrence, get out of here. Braden, a question.
It's not about this, but
Then I need you to hold on, kiddo. We need to stay on topic, okay? So hang on with me afterwards and then we can go over that. All right? All right. So we know that we have to be the mayor. They're in charge of the city. They live in the city, got to be at least 18 years old. Next one, it says page 5. We're going to go to page 5. How do city, state, and federal leaders get their job? Go to slide 5. We're going to read about the city. Here we go. Get your highlighter ready because it says, how do city, state, and federal leaders get their job? Electing mayors. Hey, look, there's a big clue. Electing. Citizens vote for mayors. Ha! Voting to lead their communities. In some cities, people elect mayors to serve 2-year terms. In other places, mayors serve 4-year terms. When their terms are over, mayors may be elected again. So how does the mayor get their job? They are elected by voting, okay? So you've highlighted your evidence. It says, then type the answer on chart slide 2. Okay, so let's go back to slide 2. How do city leaders get their job? They are elected, I don't know why that's orange, by voting. Elected by voting. There we go. That's how they get their job in the city. All right. As the directions stated, we did the mayor together. You are getting ready to go to your breakout rooms for the next 15 minutes and look at the answers for governor. So you're going to do the same thing. What community is the governor in charge of? On slide 3, you're going to highlight your evidence and then you'll come type it right here. On page 4, what are 2 things the governor must do to get his job? You're going to go highlight your evidence. You're going to type it right here. And then finally on page 5, how does the state leader get his or her job? You're going to go to slide 5. You're going to highlight your evidence. You're going to type it right here. Okay? So you are getting ready to do governor with your breakout room. Any questions about what you are getting ready to do in your breakout room?
What if
Yes, Terrence.
15 minutes is not enough?
Well, we just got done in 7, so I am giving you almost double that time. So I think you'll be okay. But anything that's not done will have to be finished during independent work time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to send you into those breakout rooms. You're going to do the governor together. Okay. So you're working on governor. All righty. In your breakout rooms, you were working on the governor. Here are the correct answers that you should have found. The governor is in charge of a state. Okay. Governor Holcomb is in charge of the state of Indiana, where you live, where our school is, okay? This question only asked for 2, but the article gave you 3, so I wrote all 3. You did not have to write all 3. You only needed 2. But here's the possible answers. They have to live in the state that they want to be governor of. They have to be a U.S. citizen, and they have to be at least 25 years old. Some of them say 30. Some of them say 25. Okay. They also are elected by voting. Okay. We vote for who we would like our governor to be. Okay. These are the correct answers that you should have got. Again, on this one here, you do not have to have all 3. The question says 2, but those are 3 that are possible. All right. For your independent work time today, you are going to be completing the president. Okay. Same way that you did with the governor. You're going to go to page 3 and find this answer. You're going to go to page 4 and find this answer. You're going to go to page 5. You're going to find this answer. Okay. When I am grading your work, I am looking for the correct answers and for your highlighting. So I should see highlighting on each section of text on slides 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Your instructions remind you on slide 6 to tell 2 things you learned about the goal statements using the label or microphone tools. So on slide 6, this is like your success criteria. Here were your goals. You're going to use the typing or microphone tool to explain 2 things you learned today. All right. This is your assignment for today. When you turn this in, this chart should be completed. These pages should be highlighted, and this should have 2 pieces of information on it.